Hi everyone, it's Shar. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. As always, I'm so excited to do a reading vlog. I genuinely love doing reading vlogs, and this time around I want to do a Kindle Unlimited KU reading vlog. Now, I've had KU for several years. I really love it, and I love the book selections on there. In the past year, I think they upped the amount of books you can have checked out at one time to 20, and your girl has 17 KU books checked out. So the goal for this reading vlog is to read some of those books. I have a ton on there that are super anticipated. I have one that I'm halfway through. So my hope is just to read and to have fun and to read down my KU TBR. So what I'm gonna do throughout this video, because I will be reading multiple books at the same time, just because I want to get them done, and that's typically how I read, is that throughout the video, I'll have graphics just like this one, showing you all of the books that I have checked out from KU, and then whichever one I'm currently reading will be circled in an animated circle, and whichever one I am still reading but have not finished will have a circle, and if I finish the book, it will have a check mark. That way you can know more easily where I'm at in the reading vlog as you attempt to follow along with me through the chaos of how I actually read. So without further ado, let's jump into the reading vlog where we start our first book, A Soul to Heal. This lighting is actually awful. Hi, welcome to Starbucks. I was just gonna grab it though, but my mom decided that she went to go shopping and she was like, sit your ass down and eat. So here I am. It's Halloween right now. I'm like subtly dressed in a costume, not really, because I didn't go all out with accessories. I'm a randomized townie. Anyway, so what I want to tell you is that, of course, for this reading vlog, I do this off from the intro. Sorry, that chicken must have been annoying. I am doing a Kindle Unlimited vlog, which I'm super excited about. I've been reading horror books literally for like a couple of days, super scary books. So I want to read some romances from my KU. I have like 18 books checked out on KU, so I definitely have to read that down. Apologies if you can't hear me over the music, but just wanted to give you that update as I eat my breakfast. Hi. It's not like it's totally more than 24 hours later. It's actually Tuesday night. I have done almost nothing but finish my Monster Mash vlog and edit a ton of videos. I have not read, but I did start this book here, A Soul to Heal, and I'm also listening to Sweet Berries. I will have graphics throughout the video showing you which book I'm reading off of my KU TBR. I will tell you with Sweet Berries, I didn't get very far into it. I read like the first 2 minutes, and I had to stop because I was at the gym and it got explicit real quick. I think the opening line is something like, she was too horny to think, or something like that. And then with A Soul to Heal, I am really enjoying that, to no one's surprise. I am on page maybe 4 or 5. Literally, I've been editing videos like for days. So with that, I'm already really enjoying it. We start with our main character, who I don't think we've been told her name yet because she's a prisoner at this point. And she's being thrown into the underworld for the crime of killing her husband, I think. I don't know. I think she killed her husband, and I think she killed his mistress, and she's being thrown in. So yeah, I'm excited for our two characters to meet, but wanted to give you that initial update of where I'm at and what I'm doing. All right, darlings, the weather is actually gorgeous, so I'm gonna try to get outside. I have a few things I need to do, like go to the grocery store, and I have some things I want to do, like go to the thrift store to check out some books. So we're gonna work on that while my video that's going up today is Wednesday, is processing. Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I don't like being in my kitchen, mostly for camera eyes because lighting. But anyway, I've read exactly 2 pages since we last spoke, and I decided let's bake a chocolate cake because your girl is craving chocolate and I haven't baked in weeks, so it's a fun hobby for me. So I'm just gonna start with a chocolate cake base because I'm doing Oreo cookies. There should be about a cup of flour. Yeah, about a cup of flour left in here. I need 2 cups. This probably will not be interesting to you, and I honestly will time lapse it, but I have to do a little bit of lifestyle vlogging and show you what I actually get up to as I rustle this bag. One of my hobbies is baking, so make this Oreo chocolate cake with me, and let's start the time lapse. Chocolate base is done. Here are a bunch of Oreos. I don't have a Ziploc bag, so I'm going to improvise. I just have these napkins, and then underneath that, I have a clean kitchen towel. Okay, so in the cake mix right now is just the crushed Oreos, which I can't really show you, but like you can kind of see them floating in the batter in there. I'm contemplating also adding chocolate chips in here. This is not something I will eat in one go. Mostly baking for me is just like a hobby to help me get my mind onto something else. I can definitely tend to use work as a method of like escapism or avoidance. So baking just helps me with that, helps me have an outlet. So this will be here for as long as it can safely be here, and I typically share it with my family. So what I'm just gonna do is preheat the oven to 375, get everything out of the oven because that's where the pots go. And I am going to put these in the oven and show you when they're done. The last step is putting in the Oreos, like whole Oreos, inside of the cake batter. So I'll be doing that as well. Our batter is pretty much done. I hope that you enjoyed this little bake with me section as I bring you into my kitchen. Hello, darlings. Welcome to my couch and my very hot living room. I have just made myself a sour apple, like whiskey sour. Freaking delicious. Killed that. Love it. My cupcakes are done and they're delicious, and I have dinner cooking away. I wanted to update you because as I was finishing up the cupcakes to put them into the oven, I started listening to Sweet Berries, which I believe is a story about a woman who sleeps with a Mothman who has a vibrating schlong. So fun times. It's very explicit. It opened up with our main character, I think her name is Grace, almost fucking a minotaur because she works on a farm. She's not a milker though. She is a social like event planner, and she does her social media. So she almost fucked him, and then she was like, you know what? Don't bury a bone in your own backyard. Don't fuck your coworkers. So she decided to go home and masturbate. So she does that, and as she does that, she hears this loud thump outside of her window in the tree and realizes that someone's watching her, which really gets her rocks off. So we are following that. So far, that's all that's happened. There's this relationship between them. She doesn't even know who it is. She just knows that there's someone sitting outside of her tree watching her masturbate, and she's really into that. I don't know where this is going because I purposely did not read the summary. Sometimes I will do that for books, is I will just go into them blind and just see what my opinion is. I'm enjoying it so far, but unfortunately Scribd was having a playback issue in that every like 5 minutes or so, it would just mute itself, even though it was playing. So I had to stop that. I'm currently watching Gavin. I'm going to finish my dinner. I'm going to finish my cupcakes, and I'll show you like the finished products because they aren't iced yet. And I will update you when I've made more progress. I have made a little bit of progress with A Soul to Heal, and we are in a scene where some shit is going down. It's very similar to a scene that happened early on in A Soul to Keep. So yeah, My impressions are not fully there yet, but I'll let you know when I've made more progress, just because this book is so freaking long. I'm gonna continue to sweat to death in my living room, and I'll update you when I have an update. All right, I am showered. I am on sprints with Riley, which is really fun. We're talking about Mothman. And here's a little bitten cupcake just to show you the inside and that they're Oreo stuffed, and it is delicious. The only frosting I have is this like cinnamon toast crunch frosting, so we'll see how that combo pairs. It's really fucking good. Super chocolatey. I love the baked Oreo. Won't lie to you though, and that I think that the cinnamon toast frosting is a little overpowering for the chocolate. I just got out the shower. That's why my mascara is smudged. Oh my gosh, I actually look wild. I'm reading Sweet Berries. I'm listening to the audiobook. It stopped glitching, thankfully. It's so good. We finally got our main character, Grace, being introduced to the Mothman. He's so sweet and so adorable. The word that Grace is using is that he's adorkable. And this book is hella explicit. But he is so cute. He brings her flowers on the first date, and he's a scientist, and his research is pollinators, and he likes talking about bees and butterflies and bats. It's freaking adorable. He's so soft and gentle. She's just like, I'm not looking for love. I don't want a relationship, but why am I looking forward to this weekend? Interspersed with very explicit moments. Literally, this chapter ended with her saying, I wonder what sounds he'll make as I suck his soul out through his cock. Okay, Bessie. Okay. There is some exhibitionism and voyeurism as well, in that, in the character's own words, he's a peeping Tom and she is an exhibitionist. So I anticipate lots of sexy times with them together, and I think they'll be such a cute couple. Mainly what's like taking me away is one, this audiobook is really fucking good, and two, it's just he's so sweet. He's genuinely such a sweetheart. I can't. It's the same with A Soul to Heal, and that Nameless is also really sweet, and I love monster romances with like a soft character. Your girl's gonna go to bed though, because she be looking crazy, so I'll update you when I'm done, but I will be reading more tonight since I'm on sprints with Riley. There'll be lots of reading happening, but I'll update you when I've made more progress. Honestly, probably when I finish the book is when you'll see my next update. Good morning. Great update is that I actually did some reading. I was reading A Soul to Heal last night. Our character still doesn't have a name. He hasn't been given one, but he's being called Nameless right now. He's so sweet. He's so precious. And our female character, Delora's having a really hard time mentally right now, because this isn't a spoiler because it's just how she got there and how we started the book. So after she's thrown into the veil and essentially fed to the demons, she survives because she lands right on top of Nameless. But she's really struggling with her mental health. She has severe depression and is dealing with the aftermath of guilt because her husband was cheating on her. And she walked in, saw that, and went, like, straight up stabbed him and his mistress to death in the bed, and that is what led to her execution and her being thrown into this veil. It's really sweet. I'm on page like 90, so it's very early. This book is almost 700 pages long, so I have a long while to go, but I will say for the first few scenes in these first like 90 pages, it feels a little repetitive in that it's the same scene again and again and again, which I think is meant to mirror the depression that Delora is feeling. So I'm hoping that things will pick up soon in terms of the actual plot of the book. I love me some fluff, but I'm waiting for the plot of the book, which I know will come because this book is 700 pages. So I'm gonna have my breakfast and I will be reading multiple books simultaneously. So I hope that these little graphics that I put in the video help you keep track of what I'm reading and when I'm reading it, since I'm constantly reading a bunch of books at the same time. Hello, welcome to EverQuest. I am about to meet a friend for some ice cream, but I'm early, so I'm going to the Strand and I want to show you the bookstore display because it's so cute and it's set up for Christmas, even though it's literally November 3rd, I think. I spent all morning outside, like doing Christmas shopping and getting gift shopping done for the kiddos. I have lots and lots of little nieces and a nephew, all very young children. So I went to get gifts, and it was also my niece's birthday. So I got her a birthday gift. I am back home now. My phone is literally on like 10%. So it is charging as I record this. I didn't record yesterday aside from that one clip where I was going to get ice cream with my friend, which was a really fun time. We hadn't caught up in literally months, so I was so happy to see her and just chat and catch up on life. I wanted to update you on the progress that I've made. So I haven't made any more progress with A Soul to Heal, just because I want to make sure that I'm in the right mood to read this, because it is a slower book and it's definitely one of the longest books that I will read this year. So to give myself a palate cleanser, I read Sweet Berries. I think I told you that and mentioned that I was listening to it as I was doing baking for the cupcakes I made a little while ago. They were delicious, and the book was so good. Like, the audiobook was fantastic. Like I mentioned, our main character, our love interest, is like a dork and so cute and naughty, and like loves bees and bats and like pollinators, and he is just so sweet. And his dick also vibrates, just so you know, and his tongue can roll all the way out, and it was a lot at times, besties, but I highly would recommend the audiobook if you want something super steamy and sweet and you don't mind like a monster romance, or a lot of the characters are monsters. I think that it was really well done, and I had such a great time with it. Immediately after that, I moved on to Ruby Dixon's book, the last book in the Fire Dragon series, which you all know I really, really like. I didn't read all the books, but I read a good chunk of them, and I wanted to skip to the last one because in the last book, we are following Azar. In this world, dragons have essentially come through a rip in space-time continuum and completely destroyed humanity. They are rampaging, burning everything down. There are no resources, and it is a post-apocalyptic world. Azar is a bad guy, genuinely a bad guy. He had these people enslaved on their home planet. He comes to Earth and he enslaves 6 more dragons and takes over Fort Dallas. We pick up with him kind of being completely in love with, it's fated mates with this character named Melina, who is the town's only doctor. And Melina is not fucking here for it. Melina does not like Azar. She's like, you are like every other man. You are full of yourself. You're a piece of shit. Stop fucking talking to me. I cannot be bought. I don't care for your pretty dresses. I don't care for your jewelry. Like, I don't want anything from you. What she does care about is her people. So we're at the part now where Azar is being a bad guy. He is not morally gray. He is just straight up a bad guy. And he says, I'm not going to let you run your clinic unless you are my consort. I need a human bride to come help me run this. We will be equals in that way, but you're not going to do anything until you agree to this. Melina very, very reluctantly agrees because she knows the town has no other healer, and by agreeing to be with Azar, she can do a lot of good for the people. So in a way, she's sacrificing herself for everyone else. And we're at a chapter now, which is making me uncomfortable, but there is a content warning right at the beginning of the chapter that it is dubious consent at this point, obviously, because Melina is not agreeing to this because she wants to. She's agreeing to this because she thinks it's for the good of the people, and it's disturbing, but it's not meant to be steamy. Like, it is definitely explicit, but it's not meant to be steamy. It's not meant to be sexy. It is very uncomfortable to read, but I am really enjoying the book, and I wanted to give you the update on my reading because I have a ton of work to get done today. It's 1 p.m., so I'm gonna eat my lunch and get some work done. My nieces and nephew are coming over for the weekend, so I probably will not have time to update you in the meantime, but wanted to give you an update on the book that I finished and the 2 books that I'm currently reading, and I'm thinking I'm gonna start one of the monster ones. 2 books in the series that I want to read. One is a tentacle one, which I'll pop here, but the first book is this one, who I believe is about a plus-size female main character and a werewolf. I'm excited to give that a go. They're pretty short, so if I have time later today, I will work on reading it. So I'm just gonna take my lunch break, get some editing done, get some recording done, and then I'll update you when I've made more progress on that one. And then I will start one of the monster romances that I just mentioned, and we'll make some good progress with the KU books, although KU is always adding really exciting books, so I'm constantly having books checked out. But let's make some headway with this. It's the next day. Thankfully, I have more free time than I was expecting because my nieces and nephew are not going to come until this afternoon, if they come at all. It's the afternoon now, but it's pretty early, and I wanted to give you an update on what I was able to read since we last spoke. So I decided to hold off on starting the other 2 monster books, which I'll pop on the screen here, so that I can continue with Dark Fire, because my mood today is like, you know what? I want to finish a book. So I'm going to finish Dark Fire definitely by this afternoon, but I do have to read hopefully 2 books by tomorrow, which I haven't even started. One is You're Invited, which is for Meg's Patreon book club, and the other one is House of Hunger, which I'm super excited about and already own, for Riley's book club. I'm going to try to finish that, but I'm also going to try to finish Dark Fires by Ruby Dixon, this book right here. I'm really enjoying it. Okay, so Azar, like I said, is a bad guy. Like, he has been the villain throughout every single book in this series. Not that I've read every single book, but I know that he has been the villain throughout every single book in this series. And this book actually takes us to the beginning of that story, of when he takes over Fort Worth. Now, Azar is a Silurian, and a Silurian is also a dragon shifter, but they have enslaved the Draconi people and believe that to give into your dragon instincts is beneath them. It's something that they don't view as a positive thing. They are meant to be very stoic, have no emotions, take no mates, give in to none of their baser instincts. But of course, they are still dragon shifters, and Azar is here on Earth, and he is getting the urges of, this is my mate. Now, Melina, as I mentioned, doesn't even fucking like him. And we spent the first third of the book with them trying to establish a relationship, which they're not even there yet. And I think that's great, because I would hate for them to enter the relationship the way that they did, via him essentially trying to purchase her, because he's a bad guy. And that's come up a lot. Melina has a lot of distrust towards him and really does not like him. And it's like, you cannot own me. Like, I'm not doing this. You want me to come to you willingly, but that's not going to happen. It's a romance book, so I'm going to assume that's going to happen at some point. But Melina is not just going to fall at Azar's feet. And I love seeing that. I absolutely love exploring more of this world. I think it's so fascinating, this idea of there being dragons attacking Earth and what that means. With that said, though, I was just vibing with the first few books because I was like, romance, romance, romance. This one's a lot more political than the other ones, and that leads me to question some things, because I'm like, wait a minute. Azar is supposedly getting all of these supplies. If these supplies already existed, why don't the people already have them? You're telling me that the Earth fell into disrepair. Believe that, but you're telling me that no one's tried to take the lead in an effective way. Like, they had a mayor before, but I'm really just questioning, where is Azar getting these supplies? Where is he getting water from? Where is he getting food from? These are all things that supposedly people do not have easy access to, yet he somehow is able to have easy access to them. I'm very confused by that, but I am really enjoying the story. I wanted to give you that first third update that is so fun. While I say Azar is a bad guy, because for sure his actions are horrendous, he's not as much of a villain as he could be in his point of view, because the perspective we're choosing to take from his point of view is that he doesn't understand, and almost like he doesn't know better. And I feel like we could go further with him just being an outright villain, because I don't buy that he doesn't know better, especially because on his home planet, he enslaved these people and they had violent resistance against that. So some part of him has to know better. So I want him, I don't know. I'm not sure if I buy the whole I just don't understand lens. We could go a lot further into him being a villain, but I get that it's a hard line to walk. So wanted to give you that update for Dark Fire, which hopefully I will finish later on today. With that said, it's like really nice outside. It's actually 70 degrees. I was hoping it would be gloomy and gray like it was this morning, but that is not the case. I'm gonna force myself to go outside just because that's good for my mental health. And I find that if I don't force myself to do it, I just won't. So I'm gonna do that. We're gonna go to the library, not because I have any intention of checking anything out, but because I just need to get out of the house. So let's go to the library. It's actually hot as fuck, like too hot. Welcome to my dining room, the same room as all my other like living spaces. Anyway, I just got back from a 3-hour walk. I picked up my Fairy Loot adult box. I did cancel or like skip the YA box, so I'm going to skip it for 3 months just to make sure there's nothing that I want. And then the adult box, I had a harder time skipping because I think I'm more into adult fantasy, but we will wait for the Fairy Loot vlog to see. I figured we could unbox this together as I give you an update on my reading. I did continue with A Soul to Heal last night, and I'm loving it. I'm so glad that I made the right decision in pausing reading so I could be in the right mood, and I am in the right mood. All it took was like 4 chapters of a thriller that I really did not like, and I was back in the mood to read. A Soul to Heal. I also made more progress with Dark Fires, so I'm gonna keep reading those two. It is Poster Girl, which is very pretty. I like the shiny red lettering. The dripping white paint is interesting. A Fallen Regime, A Missing Child, A Chance at Freedom. Here's the book with its pretty sprayed edges. I don't like that, where only the edges are sprayed and not the whole thing. Not a fan of that. The cover, obviously, I don't know what this is all about. Some kind of map. We have the naked book. Pretty, but not the prettiest book. Is this signed by the author, Veronica Roth? I know that name. I don't know why. Divergent. That's why I know that name. And then it's signed by the author. So very pretty, but no reversible cover. In terms of Fairy Loot, a pretty basic box. So anyway, that was the update. I'm still enjoying Dark Fires. I'm almost at the 30% mark officially. I've been hovering around there for a while because I've only been reading for a few pages a day, and I am really enjoying Dark Fires. So I wanted to give you that update. I'm gonna pop this on my Fairy Loot bookshelf, and I will see you with my next update. Do I like this lighting? No. Is it the best way you can see me? Yes. I have not read any more of Soul to Heal or Dark Fire. That's on my plans tonight as like bedtime reading. But I did just start and finish Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert. Let me switch seating so you can get some not bright yellow light in my face. Anyway, so Dragon's Bride is about a woman named Briar. Briar is escaping an extremely abusive relationship where she is almost certain that her husband intends to kill her. So she makes a deal with a demon, and she essentially gets offered to this dragon lord, this dragon king, to be his human bride. I really, really love this so much more than I was expecting. Please be mindful of the fact that she did just escape an abusive relationship, and there is a lot of things he is trying to work through throughout this book. So be mindful of that. I enjoyed that aspect of it in the sense that I liked that it didn't just not come up again, right? It's something that she continued to deal with throughout the entire story, even as she found so much happiness and love with her dragon husband, Saul. So it was a really cute story, super seamy, which is great because I find that I usually don't enjoy Katie Roberts' sex scenes, at least from the one book that I read. I did enjoy it, and I really enjoyed them in this book. It was just sweet to see them kind of fall in love and overcome their obstacles and really just get to know each other. That's what this book is all about. It's them getting to know each other and coming to want to be together. So I loved it. There's not much else to say outside of that. It's a pretty short story. I think it's like 170 something pages, a little bit under 200. I listened to it via script. Loved the audiobook. Recommend the audiobook so much. It has 2 people narrating it and it's super good, super steamy. So yeah, because I hate filming at night, I'm going to see you in the morning when I've made more progress with the final 2 books, and hopefully I'll be closer to finishing. Should be 4 books. Oh my gosh, 4 books off of my KU TBR read, and that would be great for this vlog. I want to try to get to 6, so let's aim for that. I have made so much progress with A Soul to Keep. No, that's not right. A Soul to Heal. Oh my gosh, I fucking love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. There is a trope in here that I think that a lot of people don't like. I don't mind this trope, especially in the context that it's being used. And surprisingly, he has a name now, but I'll continue to call him Nameless so that we're not spoiled for his name. He's very steamy in bed. He's so sweet and gentle and kind with her when they're just out and about trying to live their lives. But in the bedroom, my boy is possessive. And I'm into it. I'm into it. Anyway, it's a super long book. So even though I'm 60% of the way through, that's only a little bit halfway past 300. So I have quite a while to go, but I wanted to update you all that yes, it is sparking all of the joy for me. I forgot how good of a sex scene Opal Rain can write, because damn, those are some good scenes. And Nameless continues to be my precious baby. And I just love him, and I'm so excited to see where the story goes. Yes, this book is almost 700 pages, but am I enjoying every fucking page? I sure am. Okay, I didn't make any more progress with Darkfire though, so my plan is to finish A Soul to Heal before continuing with Darkfire, and then reading the final 2 books that I want to read for this video. So I'm excited for that, but wanted to make sure I gave you my like 60% update for A Soul to Heal. Hello. Sorry for the angle. I'm sick, so it's been a few days since my last update. Unfortunately, I am not feeling well. You can't see it here, but I am sweating from my fever. Anyway, I am almost done with A Soul to Heal. I only have 100 pages left. I'm really enjoying it, and I had so much fun being with Nameless and Delora. I'm excited to see how the book concludes, but I ultimately don't think I'm going to give it more than like 3.5 to 4 stars, just depending on the ending, because I'll tell you my full thoughts, but I'll say initially my impression is there's no reason this book needed to be almost 700 pages. And while I had a lot of fun being with the characters, the length did feel a bit excessive, considering that there's not a lot of like plot in comparison to the first book. Initial thoughts: I didn't make any more progress with Darkfire by Ruby Dixon. That's because there's this scene where Azar has straight up just lied to Melina about the dragons and how he controls them, because he's like, well, she wouldn't approve. Yeah, she wouldn't approve because you are enslaving them. You are literally enslaving them, and he outright lied to her. And there's a scene now where he just like wants to be close to her. Azar is a virgin because his people are like, you don't engage in any kind of pleasure, any kind of desire, none of that. Your only responsibility, your only duty, and your only purpose in being alive is duty. So we've gotten somehow to the point where Melina has agreed to let Azar eat her out, but he just like lied to her in like the biggest way. So that was a big turn off for me. I'm gonna keep reading after I finish A Soul to Keep, and I'm hoping to finish this vlog today because it is Thursday and I want to start editing it tonight, which means I probably won't get to the Monsters and Muscles book, or Muscles and Monsters. You can see the book here so you know which one I'm talking about. I did start it and I read like the first 5 pages. My initial impressions that the writing really isn't for me, but I want to give it more of a chance when I'm not sick, when I'm not about to come on my period, so my mood is better, and when I'm not dealing with technology issues. So I think that might change how I feel. It could just be a me thing. So wanted to give you that update before I went ahead and finished A Soul to Heal. Hello. And and welcome to the end of this vlog. In the last clip, I told you I was about to finish A Soul to Heal, and I did finish that book, so I wanted to give you my final thoughts and final rating. Excuse the howling in the background. It is very windy, and I cannot do anything about that. So I did enjoy A Soul to Heal, but I am only giving it 3 stars. The reason is that while I love spending time with Nameless and Delora, and I thought that they were so sweet, the book was almost 700 pages. It was 640 pages, and it ultimately did not need to be that long because there wasn't a plot. It didn't feel like there was an overarching plot. It was just kind of a bunch of scenes and a bunch of mini climaxes, and I really didn't want to be edged when it came to the plot of this book because it was not a fun time in terms of just feeling a little bit lost in the story and like what's going on. We had like fight scene, calm, fight scene, calm, fight scene, and it really didn't lead up to much of anything. Really, all we were doing was spending time with Delora and Nameless. And in the first book, the plot is what's her name? Is Rhea going to give Orpheus her soul? In this one, it wasn't really that. I had some issues with that, which I already mentioned, and I won't hark on. I also felt like Nameless, at some point in the story, he is able to gain more humanity, and I feel like his personality was almost erased by like the 60% mark, in that all of his sweet goofiness kind of went away and the characters became a little dull in their portrayal. That's not meant to be a harsh criticism, it's just my feeling of it, and that by that 60% mark you did start to feel like a milder version of Orpheus, which wasn't necessarily fun to read. I don't want to hark on this book because I did enjoy it. It was just too long for what it was trying to accomplish. I think that it could have gone in 2 directions. It could have been all fluff, which it seemed like it kind of wanted to do, and have just been like 200 pages, or there could have been a bigger plot and this book could have really explored what was going on in the demon realm, but it didn't really accomplish that. So I'm just going to move on and tell you that I'm giving it 3 stars for those reasons. Then I didn't finish Starkfire. I do plan to finish Starkfire this month, so you'll see it in my November wrap up. But that does bring us to the end of this KU vlog. I am happy with the progress that I was able to make. As you can see, I did finish 4 of the initial 18 books that were on my TBR. I did add 2 more books, but that is besides the point. I had a fantastic time reading these books. They all ended up being like fantasy monster romances, and I feel like that's just what I needed in recovery from the horror books that I was reading for Halloween. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you aren't already, please do make sure to subscribe before you head on out, and I will see you in my next video on Tuesday. Bye!